My name is Dennis Gill with the Americans in Wartime Experience. We are in Alexandria, Virginia. I'm conducting an interview with Mahnaz Akbari. Today's date is 9 September 2022. Welcome. Appreciate you sitting down and doing an interview with us. If you could just give us a little bit of background on yourself. Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I was born in Iran and I grew up over there and until I was like 25 or 26 years old, and then after that we moved to Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Yep.
What year was that?
2011, first of 2011.
2011?
Yeah.
Okay. What took you to Afghanistan? Why did you decide to move there?
In Iran we had like we didn't have like good opportunities for job and other stuff. For example, I couldn't work for government because I was an Afghan. I couldn't like work in a high position in Iran, and so we decided to come back to Afghanistan because after a while, when in 2001 when Americans come to the Afghanistan, like there was a pretty of good security, and we had democracy and everything, and so we decided to come back to Afghanistan.
So you're from Afghanistan. Your family's from Afghanistan
Yep.
originally.
Yeah.
Okay. What caused them to move to Iran?
I think at that time I wasn't born. My parents were in Afghanistan. I think it was during the Russia war
Okay.
in Afghanistan, and so they decided to go to Iran.
Okay. So in 2011 you moved to Afghanistan.
Yep.
All right. What's it like when you get there? Paint a picture for us.
I remember first time that we just arrived to Afghanistan. It was in a camp in Herat, and there were a lot of people like around us with different faces, with different clothes, with different accents and language, and I feel that I'm a little bit different from them, but I feel that I was different from them, but something in my heart like feel me that I'm really close with these guys. They are from me and I'm from them.
Right. And how old were you when you moved there?
26.
26?
Yep.
Okay. What part of the country did you move to?
Kabul.
Kabul?
At first we moved to the Herat, and then we moved to Kabul.
Okay. What is life like in Afghanistan? Most people that have watched this will never leave this country, probably never leave this town or city they were born in. What's it like? What's it like living in Afghanistan? Daily life, things like that.
For me, that for the first time, that because I live in Iran for many years, and when I moved to the Afghanistan, it was different from me. The culture, the people, even like we had several language over there that like Pashtun and other languages that I didn't know about them, and it was like a kind of strange for me for the first time. Even when the building that we had in Afghanistan, like the store and like the way that people have made communication with each other, even the culture, everything was new for me.
What kind of work did you do eventually in Afghanistan?
In 2011, when I moved to Afghanistan, I was looking for a job, and after several months, I think maybe after 4 or 5 months, I find one of my friends, and she was an officer from military, and she told me that there is a job, there is a program with Americans, and you need to know a little bit English and also Pashto. And I said that I don't know Pashto, like it's I just know English. She said that it doesn't matter, like you can go over there and register yourself. If they accept it, that will be great. And I went to Ministry of Interior and talked with them, and when I told them that I'm gonna to join to military, like I just fill out a form, and after that I came to the KK. It was your question?
Yep. And what kind of work did you do, and what did you end up doing?
In KK?
No. So you went to you heard the U.S. military needed
Yeah,
You need women in particular?
yeah.
And what kind of work did you end up doing for the U.S. military with them?
Like U.S. military, like and Afghan special forces, like there was a joint forces, and they get together, did like night missions during the night, and like culturally in our religion, in our culture, like the men can't touch or talk with females, and but those kind of missions, because it was during the night, and obviously they go to the houses like Taliban houses or other terrorist group houses, and in the house like they have children and female, and so we like they start to do searching or asking question or finding the target. In this field, like they need a female because culturally they couldn't like talk or touch the female, and so they need female. And my job in the military was like talking TQ and searching and making communication and collect intelligence from female and children in the compound.
So, were you part of the Afghan military?
Yep.
Okay. What kind of training did you have?
All of the training that guys did, like CQB, SSC, fast roping, shooting, any kind of training that we need in the combat field.
Right. What did your family think of that?
I think in our family, because I grew up in Iran, and they lived for a long time in Iran, and so in our family, like I was the first person that joined the military, and I think they were so proud of me that in our family, in a big family, like one of the first person that joined to the military, it was a female. Right. It was me, and so they were so happy. And my mother encouraged me to join to the military also. Were
they worried?
At first, they were a little bit worried, but I didn't tell them what is my real job. Like, I didn't tell them that I go to the mission, I carry a weapon, or I have like, we go just inside the war. They just think that I just work for military and maybe in some offices or something like that. But I didn't tell anything about the actual mission.
Okay. What was your mission? What were you doing?
In mission, like one FTP or CSC went together to the mission with like about maybe 60 or 70 of guys, and we surrounded a house like the target, and then after that doing the other missions. And my job specifically in mission was do TQ and searching and collecting intelligence from female and children.
So you were there to specifically interact with the women and the children.
Yeah. Yes.
What was it like the first time that you had to do that?
The first time that I did that, because I did a lot of training. Right. I was like about 5 or 6 months in just basic training, because I just come from civilian, and it took for a long time that I got my rank. So before that, I wasn't allowed to go to the missions, and after that I get my rank, they let me go to the missions. And for the first time, because I was in training for 5 or 6 months, I become a little bit familiar with this kind of missions. My first mission that I remember, that it was the first time that I landed with helicopter in a area, like in a rural area, and I remember that I was the first person that go in the helicopter, but when everybody come out, I was the last person that come out from the helicopter. And I'm a little bit light, and when I just come off from the helicopter, I was the last person, and the wind of the helicopter was so loud and pushed me back near the wall. And when helicopter went, I just make my head up and was looking from the other soldiers, but I couldn't see anything. All of the soldiers gone, and just I was over there. And I remember that in the brief they told me that when you come up from the helicopter, you should go straight and then go to the left. And I just remember those things, and I did the same thing, and straight, and then I go to the left and find the other soldiers. But it was very, for me, interesting, because it was the first time that I go in Afghanistan. I go to another provinces and see like the people around there, like familiar with their culture and the way of their clothing, the way of their talking, everything.
Is it different? So the different places you went in Afghanistan, is it completely different from the other places?
Yeah.
Or are there similarities?
We have like Afghanistan is combined of different people, different culture, and each provinces has their own culture, like their own language. And for example, if you go a province in North Afghanistan, it's different from a province that is in the south of Afghanistan. Like the culture, even the accent, even the language are different.
Right. Did that make it hard to do your job?
No, I think it become more interesting, because you see a lot of people with different culture, with different accent.
Are there any incidents that stand out in your mind? Anything that happened that you remember?
In missions?
Yeah, any missions that stand out?
I did a lot of missions, but some of them are stuck in my mind. I remember that one time I went to the mission. There was a girl over there, and it was in the south. It was in one of the provinces in south of Afghanistan. And when I go inside the house, I had like helmet, key, weapon, everything. And because during the night you can't understand that this is guy or female unless they start talking. When I went inside the house, I started talking, and I told the female that was over there, that hey, I'm female, I'm here to protect you guys, and I just want to search you and ask some questions. And there was a girl, like about maybe 13 or 14 years old. She was staring on me, and she asked me that, hey, are you a female? I said, yes, I'm female. And she, just because it's surprise for her, because it was the first time that she saw a woman with full kits, with weapon. And she said me at the end, she said me that, can you give me something? I'm gonna to have this forever. And I gave her a pen. And I think that pen, maybe it is nothing, but for her, like, it's a word. Like she understands that, because she was growing in under the Taliban ideologies, and she thought that maybe the female are not allowed to go outside, or they are not allowed to study or to go to the school. It was something surprise. And I think it was a map in her mind that, okay, I'm female, maybe in future I have this opportunity to join to the military or even go to other part of society.
You kind of gave her hope.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wish.
What kind of gear did you carry? Were you carrying a gun and
yeah, everything full kit, yeah. Helmet, kit, gun, weapon, M9, M4. Chocolate, toys for children.
Right.
And yeah, everything.
Were you with an American unit or an Afghanistan unit?
It was a joint forces, yeah.
Okay.
Americans, mix of Americans and Afghans. It depends on the missions,
Right.
but in all missions we had American and Afghans. Sometimes we had more Americans, sometimes we had more Afghans.
Were you the only female?
No, like in most missions, especially from 2011 until 2015 or 16, most missions, one CSC, one FTP, one American, one Afghan, one American. But recently, most of the missions were like two Afghans, two
Okay,
FTPs.
2 females.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. How long did you do that? For how many years?
I joined to military in 2011 to KKFTPs, and I did like actually go to mission and carry weapon for almost 3 years. But after 2 years, they accept me as they choose me as a commander, and so I stopped going to the mission. I was in the base and trained the other FTPs and making ready to the missions.
Right. So you were training other people after that?
I personally didn't train, but I organized things.
Okay.
Like
I understand. Okay. What did the Afghan people think of you when they would see you? Were they nice? Were they angry with you? Or
in the mission?
when you were out interacting with them, were they angry with you? Were they nice to you?
Well, when we are going to the mission, it's midnight, like 12 or 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And it's not something good, like when you are inside the house and you are asleep and some people came with weapon and say that, hey, we are going to search your house or asking a question or something like that. At the first, they become angry, but by passing the time when they see our behavior, like we just came over there for their security, but they become calm.
Okay.
And some of them become so happy, some of the females, because for most of them it was the first time that they see female in military uniform.
Right. Right. Did your parents ever know what you were doing? Or not till it was over?
Until recently I told them what is our job, but at the first they didn't know. Just I told to my brother in case if something happened, if I was killed in mission or I get injury, at least my brother understand that why she get injury or why she killed in the
So
mission.
until recently your parents had no idea
No.
what you were doing. Interesting. So how did you come to be in the United States? Tell us that story.
Afghanistan fall, and everything happened just in a night, and we had our advisors, and they start texting us that, hey, we are going to help you to come to the US, and we were waiting for them. And after I think it was the 3rd or 4th, I think it was 17th or 8th of August that they told us that you need to go to the in front of airport, and so they helped us to come here.
Who was it that were helping you?
In the CSCs, our advisor, all of them they were in the US, but they had good communication with the embassy and the airport in Afghanistan, and they they connect us with some people in the airport. One of them, his name was Kevin, and he helped us to get inside the airport.
Right. Did you want to leave, or did you feel like you had no choice?
We didn't have any choice. Like if we stay over there, the life becomes so dangerous for us.
What would have happened had you stayed there?
We had to leave, hide from Taliban. Like we had to stay in the house, not going to the school or work or something like that, and just to stay in the house. And in case if Taliban find us, maybe torture and maybe find the kill.
Is that because you worked with the Americans?
Yep.
Did your whole family come over?
No, just I bring my 2 nieces, but the rest of my family, they are still in Afghanistan.
Okay. Do you communicate with them at all?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the area is a little bit dangerous, and so the Taliban are looking for commandos, special forces, especially special forces, and just if they see someone, they just capture, torture, and then kill. And I had some of my colleagues that they were killed by Taliban, and some of them disappear, and 2 of them are still in the jail. It's about, I think, 3 months they are in the jail, and every day they torture them.
How was your experience? How has that affected your life? You've had quite a story. How do you think that's affected you, especially your combat experience over there?
I think the combat is not important, like the combat, but the thing that you see in the combat is important. For example, like I had to search a dead baby. I had to search a dead female. I had to do medicate on the female that is injured. Like I had to do anything. I had to do anything like this kind of things in the missions, and it's not a good sense, because maybe you think that maybe some people think that, oh, I'm so strong, I go to mission, I do this, I do this and that. But in reality, like when you think that what is happening in my country, like the people are suffering, they are suffering from everything, from war, from hunger, and like why like I have to come to this house. There is a reason that I'm here. Without reason I don't come. Why like the war doesn't stop in my country. Like what happened to the people that they joined to the like terrorist group, like these things like make you feel that you need to work on you and in your country and your people to get everything better, but it's really hard.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in Afghanistan in the next 10 or 20 years?
I think everything now depends on, now Taliban are in the country, and it depends to their decisions. If they're gonna to make a good decisions, like for example, they let the females go to their school, if they like let to other ethnicity to join like to government, like from Pashtun, Tajik, Uzbek, Hazara, like if gonna to make a good decisions, like let to other people to join to the government, or like they select their presidents, I think we will have a good future. But I don't think they will do, because I think they are just soldiers of other countries and they do like their policy. And so until the Taliban are in the government, until the Taliban are ruling in Afghanistan, I think we won't have a good situation in Afghanistan, because now people are suffering from hunger, from like they don't have any food to eat. There is no job. The female, they can't go to the school, and in north of Afghanistan, especially in some areas like Panjshir, Andrab, and some other provinces, or Hazaras area, like a genocide is happening.
Right.
Like they're just killing people by the name of their religion, by the name of their ethnicities.
Right. What would you like people to know that might watch this video in many years to come about the people of Afghanistan?
Like just what they want to know, like in future.
Right. If somebody's going to watch this in the future, what would you like to tell them about Afghanistan, about the people? Because most people don't, I mean, they have no idea what goes on in a country other than their own.
Yeah.
They've never left their country, so they don't know. What do you want them to know?
It's really hard to tell to people that what should you think about, but like I'm gonna to say that the world that they live is just not the place that they all live. We have a big world, and we shouldn't have like imagine, okay, a border, I'm in the United States, so just inside United States is good, and outside I don't care about the outside. Like I'm not just talking about Afghanistan, like there are a lot of war in other countries, like there are poverty in other countries too. Like we are human, and we need to help each other. Like if you just think just about yourself, maybe in future something happened to you, like like it's a war. We don't know what happened in the future, and so it's better to help each other. Like, especially like in Afghanistan, I say that like there are a lot, like people are suffering from not having food, or a lot of things are happening. I don't know how to explain. Like, it's not a short thing that I explain it, but it's good to don't forget the people from other the world. People in the world, some of them, they think that the Taliban changed. Maybe, I don't know how, but they think the Taliban changed. But if they want to see that Taliban change or no, like they can see like the border of Afghanistan, like how many people are trying to flee from Afghanistan. For example, millions of Afghans leave to Afghanistan and went to the Iran, Pakistan, and a lot of people went to the Tajikistan, Turkey. Like if Taliban changed, why these people are flying, are trying to leave Afghanistan? Like we have the female in the Afghanistan, they can't go to the school. Like the other ethnicity, they can't share in the government. Like I'm gonna to say that Taliban didn't change, but they become more danger, because at the like in 2000, in the past, like maybe 20 years ago, there wasn't any like technology, but they did something, a very big accident in the United States. But now, like they have a lot of technology, like they have access to a lot of things. If nobody don't stop the Taliban, I think a lot of bad things will happen in the world. And so now, like the Taliban are just a group of people, but in future, if the Taliban want to do their policy in Afghanistan, in the future we will have a country of Taliban, because they use the children, they teach the children their ideology in the schools. And so imagine all the children now in Afghanistan, in 10 years, what will happen, what will do, like what will they think about, like other things. They just learn the Taliban's ideology.
Right.
I don't know how to explain
it. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Let me go back to September 11, 2001. Be interested in getting your perspective as someone that wasn't in the United States. What you thought when you saw that.
In 2001?
Yes.
I was in Iran.
Right. You saw the attacks?
Yeah, I saw the attacks, and I don't know how old I was. I think I was pretty young, and it was the first time that I heard like a big attack in the world. Like, and I didn't imagine that it comes from Afghanistan. Not Afghan people, like it organized in Afghanistan. And so like I was thinking, like a lot of people were killed just in a minute. Like it was something surprise for me, but when by passing the time, like everything will become familiar to me, like what happened in the US, and from where it organized, it really impacted me, because Afghanistan was my country, and a lot of people were over there, and I was thinking that what is happening in Afghanistan.
I mean, it changed your life.
Yeah.
Completely.
Completely.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of the Americans of Wartime Experience, I thank you very much for sitting down and talking to us. You have an amazing story. Can't imagine the amount of courage it must take to do what you did, knowing what could happen. So we really appreciate that. Thank you very much for sitting down and telling it.
Yeah, it's an honor for me to share my story. Thank you.